We welcome you to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where tonight the Houston Astros play the middle game of this road trip, Game 5 of 9, also the middle game of a 3-game series from Citizens Bank Park, where the Astros were victorious last night 13-4. They have won exactly 2/3 of their games as we play game number 100 tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another night of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. It doesn't seem to matter who's in that lineup, Blummer. You lose Carlos Correa. George Springer last night goes down with an injury. And here the Astros are scoring double-digit runs again.
It's either a credit to the approach or it's a credit to the depth, because even the guys that come up start to rake.
Yeah, and when you look back over the last 2 months, this team is doing things that haven't been seen in a long time.
Yeah, I got kind of tired of taking a note, so hopefully you're going to see some numbers that are going to show that these guys are going out there and absolutely raking. This is since May 25th, 36 of 52 games with 10-plus hits. These guys have an unbelievable approach. Dave Hudgens, the hitting coach, and Alonzo Powell, the assistant hitting coach, have really done a good job of employing a great mentality in these guys. They understood that they had the talent, but for these guys to go out there on a nightly basis and execute that game plan is one of the things that impresses me most. They are hunting in the zone. If they get mistakes, they hammer them, but they battle out ABs until that pitcher actually serves one up for them to hit.
When you look at the overall numbers for the last 2 months, not only are they leading, they're leading by a wide margin in some of these categories.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to look at them again, but you have to keep looking at them to understand exactly what these guys are doing in the last 2 months. They are number one, and yes, it says first next to that, but they are in first place by a large margin. Everything you want this ball club to do right, they are doing it right and doing it extremely well.
Batting average up by 34 on second place Colorado. Runs per game up a run and a half over second place the Los Angeles Dodgers. Speaking of numbers, Jose Altuve has numbers that are really hard to believe. Julian Morales will try and pick out the best of those and tell you how good the Astros second baseman has been lately.
He called me. He told me. I don't remember what we do. He say, "Hey, Mig, I need a little help." I say, "What's up, bro?" He say, "I'm a little struggling right now. You can help me?" I say, "I go on my computer and watch his number." He was hitting like 340 something.
Struggling.
I say like, wait a second, like you struggling? Like what I mean, you struggling?
Two of the best hitters in the game right there. Miguel Cabrera, Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve and the Houston Astros looking for a series win today against the Philadelphia Phillies. They'll go for that. And that was a great interview a couple of months ago that we did with those two. Cabrera talking about how Altuve needed a little help trying to get it from Miggy. Well, Altuve hit 341 that year and got his first batting title. And he's definitely on his way to another one right now with the way he's been playing. MVPs would be jealous of the numbers he's putting up right now. A.J. Hinch saying last night, he's every bit of an MVP candidate. We've seen it all season from him, but his numbers lately, eye-popping. He's had a great month of July, hitting over 500, but we want to start on July 4th because it's fun to do that when you look at what he's done since that particular day. The Astros were in Atlanta since then. 544 average, so it's 37 hits and 68 ABs, almost a 600 OBP. And guys, he's coming off back-to-back 4-hit nights. He's making it look easy up there. His teammates have no words for him. They've run out of ways to describe their teammate, but certainly he's a big help for this group, especially some of the younger guys who are coming up there and watching everything that he does at the plate. But it all starts with a plan for him, which is what he told me last night, Todd. That's what's working.
The last guy, Julia, to have that kind of streak, Rogers Hornsby, 1923, the first year the old Yankee Stadium was open.
That's great. It's unbelievable to me that he is playing at this level. You heard A.J. Hinch talk about it. There's not another league, but if Elon Musk ever starts to create a civilization on Mars when he gets there, this might be the first guy he takes out there to start that interstellar baseball league.
Jose Altuve's numbers are absolutely crazy lately, and he'll begin this lineup, the Astros starting lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. The best lineup in baseball, even without a Correa or a Springer. They continue to score runs. Jose Altuve at the top. Josh Reddick is in right field. Yuli Gurriel is the first baseman tonight after playing a little third last night. Evan Gattis behind the plate. Marwin Gonzalez starts at short. Derek Fisher just up from AAA Fresno. He'll be in center field. Alex Bregman at third. Norichika Aoki in left field, and Charlie Morton on the mound.
It is July 25th, and here in Philadelphia, it is almost Christmas. It's 6 months away, and they're celebrating. That's why St. Nick Pivetta is on there, making his 14th start, 3-5 on the season. That ERA above 5.5. He throws a fastball, slider, curveball, the occasional changeup. He's a big kid, around 6'5", throws a good power sinker, averaging around 94 miles an hour with it. See if the Astros can get to him. He's given up 10 home runs on that fastball.
Just 24 years old, and we have talked about this before. You always like to see the night before, if you're a right-hand starter, how that right-hander before you faces that lineup and what works. It was a tough night for Vince Velasquez and others who had to face that Astros lineup last night.
You could have said that about every night of the week. Going out there and facing these Astros, especially if they're wearing a gray uniform.
They are scoring 7.29 runs per game on the road this year. To put that in perspective, the Astros have played 48 road games this year and have scored 350 runs. The Phillies, both home and road, have played 97 games and scored 385 runs. Here's Jose Altuve. He has reached 9 straight times. He was on base all 4 times last night. And he's down in the count 0-2, which in this streak has not seemed to matter.
It doesn't. These guys have such a good approach, and they don't give away ABs that they continue to battle.
He got down 0-2 twice last night and ended up with base hits in both of those ABs. That's part of the reason why he tries to foul off pitches, find one that he likes. He is in such a zone right now. Altuve leading off tonight, just like he did on Sunday afternoon in Baltimore. George Springer day to day, getting a little extra time, nursing that quad that he tweaked last night. Altuve swings and misses the ball in the dirt. A rare time Altuve is put out. Pivetta strikes out Jose Altuve to start this game.
That was a pretty good power slider. Threw it in there at about 87 miles an hour. Good down and away break, fooling Jose Altuve. Right-handers are actually hitting 306 against Pivetta. It's the left-handers that are having a tough time at 208 on the season.
Here's Josh Reddick. Getting Jose Altuve to start the game must feel like getting 2 outs the way he's going.
All you did was make him mad. He's going to come back and haunt you the rest of the game now.
In on the hands of Reddick, and Pivetta has started out the night by throwing only strikes. Off to a good start. Young man out of Vancouver, British Columbia. There's the first one out of the zone. It's 1-2 to Josh. Reddick has an OPS over 1,000 since coming off the DL, 1.012. On the ground, 1 hop. Cesar Hernandez is there, and Reddick is retired. Pivetta, his last couple of starts, has gone 5 and 5 1/3 innings. Those were road starts in Milwaukee and at Miami. He has been a much different pitcher at home than he has been on the road this year.
ERA at home at 3.60. On the road, it jumps to 6.7. He got roughed up out there in Milwaukee in those 5 innings. Gave up 9 earned runs.
And they all came in a hurry. On 8 consecutive hitters, he allowed 8 runs. Finished off with a Ryan Braun grand slam. Getting a chance to start against the Astros tonight. There you see the splits, and they heavily favor pitching at home, which usually is a hitter's ballpark. The weird thing is he's allowed home runs here at home, but not a lot of hits.
Just amazing. 3 walks here in Citizens Bank, and on the road 23.
And the strikeout to walk ratio is like 2 different guys.
Wow.
He's home 11.33 strikeouts per walk, 11.33, and on the road he's 1.28. Very comfortable on this mound as he continues to throw strikes tonight. 2-2 on Yuli Gurriel. Yuli played some third base last night for the first time this year. AJ Hinch was making a lot of switches last night, double switches, and moving guys all around in the field. Marwin Gonzalez started at short, moved to left, and ended the night at second base. Of all guys to get the first full count of the night, it goes to Yuli Gurriel.
Got real patient all of a sudden, didn't he?
Just want that pitches per plate appearance number to move up and get out of the basement where he's been pretty much all year. Called third strike. Gurriel didn't like it. Looked like a pretty good breaking ball by Pivetta, and he has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Downtown Philadelphia as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. Astros failed in the top half. Here's how the Phillies and Pete McCann will line things up tonight. Cesar Hernandez at the top. Freddie Galvis, the double play combination. Both switch hitters. Nick Williams on a roll as the 3-hitter. Howie Kendrick in the cleanup spot. Odubel Herrera is the center fielder. Maikel Franco, Tommy Joseph, Cameron Rupp, and the pitcher Nick Pivetta.
Charlie Morton going for the Houston Astros. We've talked plenty about that velocity on that fastball. It comes in there in the mid-90s. He is also throwing the curveball a little bit more in that last start. Has a cutter and a changeup. Last 2 outings for Charlie has given up 4 earned runs in both ball games. Went 6 2/3 last time out there, though.
Pitching back at Citizens Bank Park. Remember the Philadelphia Phillies last year did not last very long. Was injured after 4 starts and missed the rest of the season. But it was kind of here where he found the velocity. Up until that point, 92, 93 guy, and then all of a sudden, first few starts with the Phillies, he was around 94, 95. And he hasn't slowed down since. He's been even better than that this year. There is 96 with a fastball. First pitch out of the zone. It's 1-2. Try to get Hernandez to chase in the dirt. It's 2-2. Charlie last started at home against the Mariners, wrapping up that homestand.
I'll give you $3 if you can do that. No hands.
It's pretty impressive.
It is.
Takes a lot of practice. 2-2, hit hard, but on the ground at the shortstop Marwin Gonzalez. Hernandez is retired on a hard hit ground ball for out number 1. Charlie's maintained a really solid ground ball rate this year. Not McCullers-esque. Lance is the best right now in terms of ground ball percentage, but it's still in the top 10 in the American League. Striking out almost 10 batters per 9 innings as well. Here's Freddie Galvis. Called strike. It'll be interesting to see how the Phillies fare against Morton. Obviously, they didn't face him last year because he was on their team, but almost everybody else who had seen Charlie in the past, Atlanta or mostly with the Pirates, saw a different pitcher than the 4 starts he made with the Phillies last year. And Freddie Galvis on a breaking ball gets hit by a pitch. Charlie has hit 8 batters this season. He and Lance McCullers amongst the leaders in the American League.
That didn't look comfortable at all. Touching the inside of that back foot.
Those are the kind of shoes, though, that won't leave a mark on a baseball, but that was pretty obvious. Here's Nick Williams. McCullers and Morton have 8 hit batters, and Jose Barrios, so the Twins, is the only one in the AL with more. He has 9. Nobody else in baseball has more RBI since the All-Star break than Nick Williams, who has 17. Tied for first in that category since the break. Chases a fastball up high. It's 0-1. Williams cleared the bases last night with a triple, scoring 3 of the 4 runs the Phillies managed against Brad Peacock for 3 innings, Joe Musgrove for 3 innings, Tony Sipp for 1, and James Hoyt for 2. Mentioned while giving you the Astros lineups presented by Southwest that Derek Fisher is back from AAA Fresno. The corresponding move, James Hoyt was optioned back to the minor leagues. So an extra bench player tonight. AJ Hinch figuring they're good in the bullpen with a day off coming up on Thursday. On the ground foul. It's 1-2.
George nursing that hurt quad. He's not going to be available for the rest of this series, so they did eliminate that pitcher and put on a position player. Not a bad idea and a good excuse to get a pretty good hitter up here in Derek Fisher.
And really, if the Astros were in a situation where they were battling right now and didn't have that huge lead, not only in the division but also in the best record in the American League race, they have a 12-game lead over Boston in that department. If they were battling right now, you might see George get in that lineup as early as tomorrow. But with an off day Thursday and this kind of lead, there's really no sense to push him.
Nope. I completely agree on that. AJ's going to have to rewrite that managerial handbook that says manage all the way through the season. He's got such a huge lead. He's really going to have to start thinking about things once they get into that month of September.
2-2 pitch is grounded foul.
It could tighten up, but if this team maintains its pace, he's going to have to get creative on how to keep these guys engaged.
AJ will figure out a way. This team's trying to do things that have never happened before. They're scoring runs on the road at a higher clip than we've seen since the 1930s. We mentioned Altuve's incredible stretch right now, something that hasn't happened since the 20s. And now the count's full. Quality at bat here for Nick Williams facing Charlie Morton. Altuve got a few innings off in last night's game. He had 4 hits. AJ gave him the last few innings off. There goes the runner on the 3-2. Inside ball 4. Gaddis throws down anyhow. But it's a walk, first and second for the Phillies with 1 out in the first. Don't forget, this is a Twitter Tuesday. If you have an opinion on what the Astros should do leading into the trade deadline, the deadline is Monday. We're less than a week away. You be the GM of the Astros for the next 6 days. Tell us what moves, if any, you would make to improve the team. At AT&T, at ATT Sportsnet SW, or at one of our individual handles, at Real Todd Callis, at Plummer27, at Julia Morales. You get to play GM tonight. Send us your thoughts about what you'd like to see the Astros do, if anything. Howie Kendrick takes a strike, 0-1.
Twitter explosion in 3, 2, 1. There are going to be some interesting responses tonight on Twitter Tuesday.
Well, it's apparent what the Phillies want to do. They would like to move some veterans, including the guy at the plate right now, Howie Kendrick. Howie coming back from injury. Probably will see some playing time between now and Monday's deadline. At some point, the Phillies would like to clear up some space in the lineup for some of their young guys at the AAA level. Give them an opportunity up here. Phillies already know what their fate is for 2017, so Kendrick's name will be bandied about. The former Astro Pat Neshek's name will be bandied about. Jeremy Hellickson, the starting pitcher. 1-2 the count to Howie Kendrick. 2 on, 1 out. On the ground towards short, slowly hit. Gonzalez to Altuve. His turn, not in time. It was not hit hard enough. They do get the force at second.
Yeah, in a perfect world, this ball's hit a little bit harder, but a good break on that curveball. And Howie Kendrick hits it off the end of the bat. They do the best they can as far as turning it, but doing a good job of making sure that first out. And for those wondering, Sonny Gray has thrown 12 pitches and has 2 punch-outs in 1 inning up in Toronto. For those wondering.
Sonny pitching tonight, Tuesday night.
There's a lot of question on whether or not he was actually going to make this start tonight in Toronto.
Jaime Garcia, after a false start initially, ended up finally going to Minnesota. Jubel Herrera is the batter. Runners on the corners and 2 outs.
Oh, well, Didn't take long.
Twitter.
Ooh.
Explosion.
Yeah, bits happened. It's a good curveball.
It's a good take. 2-0. Well, we figured this would be a popular topic tonight. I mean, the Astros are sitting here at 66 and 33. So in terms of getting to the postseason, winning the division, and getting the #1 seed, you really don't need to make any moves.
Yes.
But it's not about just that.
Well, I think you're to the point where you're looking past that.
Into center field, well hit. Fisher all the way back. He's still going back, and he makes the catch and crashes into the fence. Derek Fisher challenged in center for the first play since being called up, and even Jake Marisnick with a nice hand on the bench for his fellow center fielder. Astros rookie makes a nice play.
Tested early. Welcome back to the show, Derek Fisher. I'm sure you're going to get a big welcome in the dugout after that catch.
In the bottom half of the first, but failed to score. Season tickets for the 2018 season are on sale right now. Here's why that's important. Fans who purchase season tickets for next year can enjoy a ton of benefits like guaranteed priority access for the 2017 postseason. Visit Astros.com/season tickets for more information. Game number 100 on the season. The Astros start the night leading by 17 games in the AL West and leading by a dozen games for the best record in the AL. Evan Gattis will lead things off. Tonight our Twitter Tuesday topic is, if you were GM for the week, what would you do leading into the trade deadline next Monday? We're getting an incredible amount of responses, including some that say if it's not broke, don't fix it. We've got the team we need going into October.
You can definitely argue that point. They have been very good, and this weekend we're going to see McHugh again and Dallas Keuchel.
Gattis into right center field. Herrera will call off Williams, and Odubel makes the play for out number 1.
Got some league leaders. They're going to be brought to you by Houston Methodist, with Marwin Gonzalez coming up, active on base streaks. No shocker, there's a couple of Astros at the top of it. Marwin leading the way. Jose Altuve directly behind him with 26 to Marwin's 27.
I am going to guess, and you've done this more years than I have, I'm going to guess that would have been your lead story for a few weeks. The fact that Marwin and Altuve were both at the top of the league lead, and in this season with all these incredible numbers, that gets lost in the shuffle.
Oh yeah, it would have. I mean, if Marwin had a, in years past, Marwin's been that role player, kind of moving all over the diamond and mixing in, giving guys days off. But now he's such a regular that you just assume he's going to be one of those guys. But you could put anybody in this lineup on that list. when they're going well, they're getting on base. And the way these guys are having their at-bats, grinding them out, taking pitches, of course they're going to have these on-base streaks.
But for two teammates, and we've mentioned it here and there, you know, the streak here, for two teammates to be above 25 straight games, and it's like an oh, by the way, don't forget.
Yeah, there's another guy on the team.
What these guys are doing. Yeah, no, and they're leading the league, both of them. It's just remarkable. It really is one of those years, and sometimes when you're amongst it, you don't realize how impressive it is till you take a step back. But when you look at the totality of what this offense has done, just looking at the runs scored, and I talked to you about this before the game as Marwin has a 2-1 count. For a while there, it was Yankees leading the Astros runs per game, and the Astros would catch them, but then the Yankees had the lead. Marwin into left field, and back there to make the play is Howie Kendrick for out number 2. The Astros now lead the Yankees by 77 runs scored, and they're the second highest scoring team in the American League.
I guarantee if you go back to that point you're talking about, back at that given moment in time where both the Astros and Yankees were so close together as far as that runs per game, and you said which one's going to run away with it, everybody would have said the Yankees. They just assume that they're going to go out there and do it, but these Astros have absolutely put the foot down on the throttle and run away with it.
Derek Fisher with his first at bat since coming back from AAA Fresno. Spent 5 games with the Astros earlier this year. Takes a pitch down and in for ball 1. Fisher, a lot of people here. He's not far, didn't grow up far from here. He's got all his family and some friends. Happy to be playing tonight in Philadelphia. One and 1 the count. Fisher having a great year at AAA Fresno, part of the All-Star Futures game, and he hits a rocket to left field. Kendrick comes on to make the play. Fisher hits the ball very hard to left, but he's retired, and Pivetta has retired the first 6 he has faced tonight.
But bottom 1, we saw Derek Fisher with a great catch in center field. It's a nice way to start things off in your second stint in the major leagues, getting high fives from Jake Marisnick in the dugout as he came back in after that one. And guys, with this being his second stint and doing such a nice job in the first stint, he said he wanted to take everything that he learned in that week and take it with him to AAA. And he said that the biggest thing was just playing with these guys every day, seeing how you prepare, seeing how you can have fun as well as play really hard every single day. There's just such a difference when you get up here. A lot of guys grinding at the AAA level to make their way here. But you got to enjoy it once you're up here, right? And that's what he learned. And he said, you know, I've played with these guys in spring training, but so different with the atmosphere and the level of competitiveness that they have at the big league level. And as far as how long he's here, he said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to enjoy every day that I have and every inning I get to play on a big league field.
It's good he's not worrying about it because it's out of his control. He can play as hard as he wants, but it really isn't his decision. The reality of the matter is, and that's a nice update from Julia, the 1-1 pitch to Franco's a swing and a miss. There's 30 teams, 3 starting outfielders per team. Derek Fisher's one of the best 90 outfielders right now in the major leagues. He just happens to be behind some Houston Astros who are a little bit better. He could play right now for some teams in the outfield.
He could start.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's one of the 90 best outfielders right now in Major League Baseball.
Well, there's 29 other GMs that have guys in their system that the Astros are calling on, and when they return the call, they say, "Hey, that Derek Fisher guy available?" It's unfortunate because you covet these guys that you've drafted, you've nurtured, you've developed. You want them to be a part of your organization, but there's a point right now where that's the decision Jeff Luhnow has. What am I going to sacrifice in the future to gain now?
The thing that I'm watching on our Twitter Tuesday is there's a lot of good people in terms of the reality with trade offers. It's not like they're saying let's just trade someone at Class A and get a stud pitcher and a stud reliever. They're being realistic with the trade offers as Franco goes down looking. And one of these trade offers that people are throwing out there could end up coming true. We'll have to keep an eye on these over the next 6 days. Yeah,
wish us luck, because I don't know about your Twitter feed, but it's gone absolutely bonkers. But you're right. In scrolling through them in the commercial break, fans have knowledge of what the team needs, and a lot of it sounds like pitching. You're seeing some of them come across the bottom of the hair.
They want you to come.
I would love to if somebody would give me the opportunity, but this seat is awfully comfy. But a lot of people are tweeting about a starting pitcher and a bullpen arm. I think a lot of people are understanding it. It might be our fault too, but it's also the guys on the field, because this offense is historic. They're putting up great numbers, and when you get that type of runs per game, you want to have pitchers that are going to shut the other team down.
That is a line drive off the wall in center on one hop. Tommy Joseph into second base. He has been an extra base machine lately, as Joseph gets to second with 1 out. That's 10 of his last 19 hits for extra bases.
See the location of that pitch where Evan Gattis wanted it on our MD Anderson strike zone. He wanted it inside. That one stayed over the fat part of the plate. Nick got hammered to that right center field gap. I'll tell you what, early on in the first couple of ABs that we've had a chance to see Tommy Joseph, I've been pretty impressed. His ability to go gap to gap has been pretty nice.
Hit the ball hard to straightaway center a couple times. Altuve and Joseph have a word as Cameron Rupp will dig in with 1 out and a runner on second base.
I wonder if Jose Altuve just asks everybody that gets a hit, what's your approach? And then he just puts it all in one portfolio and does everything.
I'm glad we used that soundbite from Miguel Cabrera today.
That was beautiful.
That was fitting. Cameron Rupp takes a strike. Number 8 hitter for the Philadelphia Phillies. So the pitcher on deck. Pitcher who is 2 for 24 with 13 strikeouts. So Morton will do his best to get Rupp, and then to face Pivetta with 2 outs. That pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Cameron came on yesterday and caught middle of the game. Andrew Knapp started that game for the Phillies. Rupp was a pinch hitter, batted a couple of times, struck out a couple of times. On the ground up the middle, Altuve is there. He will make the play to first. Joseph crosses over to third, and he is there with 2 outs.
Kind of glad that ground ball missed second base. Altuve standing right behind it, and it gets in the head of fielders sometimes too. You see it coming right at it.
Here is the opposing pitcher, Nick Pivetta. First year in the big leagues. He's had 24 at bats and had 2 hits so far. 13 strikeouts in those 24 ABs. In the center field, coming on Fisher, and he makes the catch on the run to rob a hit. Another inning-ending play by Fisher that saves a run or more. He saved possibly 2 runs last inning, and here he saves 1 on this catch against the opposing pitcher. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. A little cooler evening tonight than we saw last night, and certainly cooler than it was over the weekend in Baltimore, as Alex Bregman will lead things off for the Astros.
Swinging it well, going Oppo Taco right here, right behind Brian McCann, who homered in the same spot previously, but he has turned into an extra base hit machine. Also had a home run in that series at Baltimore, looking to continue that hot bat and continuing to put himself in scoring position with his bat.
Made a real nice play defensively here on the spin and the throw. Bregman had a chance to move over to shortstop in last night's game. Playing third base tonight, last 16 games, Alex has a .356 batting average. Did reach the double-digit plateau with that home run. Everybody in the Astros lineup last night, with the exception of Josh Reddick and the pitcher, had reached that plateau, and Josh is right on the cusp at 9 on the season. Nick Pivetta has looked good so far, the 24-year-old from Vancouver, Victoria, British Columbia. Although Bregman might have a first hit of the night, Herrera on the move, and he can't make the play. All the way to the wall. Alex with another extra base hit. He's thinking 3. He's going to go for it. Bregman with the head-first slide. He is safe. Alex Bregman, a leadoff triple in the third.
Likes that right center field gap when things are going good. He's letting that ball travel, tailing away from Herrera. Once it gets past him, Alex Bregman's off the races. He already knows right here he's got a double. It's about right here when he sees that ball get past Herrera that he decides, hey, I'm going to try and give this one a shot. Good effort. There was a little bit of hesitation, but there's always going to be that hesitation when you lead off the inning and you know you have an opportunity to get to third base.
Second triple of the season for Alex. You can see the Phillies bringing the infield in with Aoki batting and the pitcher spot due up next. We don't often see the Astros get to play National League style baseball, but it is a different mindset here. Aoki deep to left field. Kendrick all the way back. He's at the track. He reaches up and makes a very good catch against the wall to rob Aoki. Nori does drive in the run on a sac fly as Bregman trots home. Good play by Kendrick, and Aoki with the sac fly.
It's a good AB. Kind of an interesting first pitch to Aoki. Usually you try and get some off speed that you know you can get a ground ball on. Maybe a changeup or a breaking ball, but Aoki gets that first pitch fastball. Stepped into the box with a mindset of I'm going to drive Alex Bregman in. He got a pitch he could drive to the outfield. Did a great job.
And that mindset is a little bit different in the National League because you're not trying to pass the baton at this point.
No, you will expand as that 8-hole hitter, yes.
Charlie Morton, the hitter. A lot of time in the National League. In fact, this is Charlie's first season as an American League pitcher, but as you can see, the batting average not very good over those years. Ball away, it's 2-1. Nori's doing a nice job lately. He's 5 for his last 10, driving in runs, scoring 6 runs during that stretch. On the ground, Morton will jog to first base. That's how he injured himself last year to end his season. Trying to run out a bunt that they tried to turn a double play on him. So Charlie taking it easy down the baseline, and there's 2 outs in the inning.
You know how I know Altuve's not used to playing National League baseball? He's already in the box. Craig Biggio was one of the best at being a leadoff guy in National League games. Well, obviously he spent his entire career there, but having hit behind him, he would give that pitcher until he actually got into the dugout before he would go up and step into that box, just to make sure that pitcher had enough time to sit down, get the batting gloves off, catch his breath, maybe a glass of water, and prepare himself for that next inning.
Altuve's frustrated he struck out his first time. He probably wanted to hit like 30 seconds later.
Yes.
So as soon as Charlie hit that ball, he was striding towards the batter's box. But you're right. You're supposed to give your pitcher a little time to jog back to the dugout. So that is ahead of him 0-2 again. On the ground towards third. Altuve retired for the second straight time, but a triple and a sac fly have the Astros on top 1-0.
Like, I make a lot of changes, and I think a lot about my delivery and my approach, like what I'm trying to do. And I'm sure a lot of that has actually hurt me sometimes, but I try to get better. I'm always trying to get better. Sometimes things work and sometimes things don't. But that's it. I guess that's what happens, you know, over a course of a career.
It's a game of adjustments, and Charlie Morton has made several over the course of his career. He's been in the big leagues a long time, but dealt with a lot of different injuries. But one of the biggest adjustments he might have made was to that delivery. It was a former Philly, Roy Halladay, that he was watching video of and emulated the delivery down to just the little details. Said it felt good in a bullpen one day. They were trying to get rid of the hip pain that he was having. He was having some hip issues back in that day. It was about 2010 when he had a really rough year on the mound. So they were trying to find a way to get him back out there and competing at this level. Well, it worked. The delivery worked for him, and he looked a lot like Roy Halladay. So much when you put him side by side, it's almost eerie. It looks like the same guy. Their stuff is very similar as well, but 2011 was much better for him, guys, and since then he's stuck with it. Of course, you heard him in the soundbite making adjustments. He's done that over the course of his career. It's been years since then, however, keeping a lot of it. But the most interesting part of that, he owes so much to Roy Halladay, but he's never met him. So you hope these two can get in the same room at one point so he could have a good discussion about some of the things that go on in a pitcher's mind and the way that they deliver the ball, because it has helped Charlie in his career, and we're glad to have him in the Astros organization now. Todd.
All right, Julia, Jose Altuve makes the play, and you may notice a new first baseman. Tyler White has taken over at first base, and the reason he's at first base now is because Yuli Gurriel's at third. Former Alex Bregman, after the triple and the run scored, is out of the game.
You are correct. We have no idea why. I didn't see anything when he was running. There's an update right there.
We are seeing the update as we speak from Jeremiah to AJ.
I just hate to see that when guys are swinging the bat so well being taken out of the game for a possible injury.
This is one of the nights where we will have AJ Hinch on in the bottom half of the fourth inning, so we can get an update from the skipper in about an inning. But Alex Bregman leaves the game. Freddie Galvis the batter. 0-1 count. He hits a line drive into left field. That'll be a base hit. Galvis will turn first and head to second and get there. Second one-out double in as many innings for the Phillies. Galvis with a double to left.
There's that split. You see the arm angle, the delivery, very similar. That plant, that back leg coming through. The only difference might be that head of Charlie Morton going a little bit more towards the hitter, whereas Halladay kind of fell off towards that first base side. But if you watch the finish and all the way through the delivery, Charlie Morton looks exactly like him. But one of the things that really, for me, having faced both Charlie Morton and Roy Halladay a lot, is the mentality. You really couldn't pick up on any tendencies that Roy Halladay was coming at you with. Plus, he had 4 above average pitches also. Very good sinker. He could throw to both parts of the plate. Had a changeup, very good slider, the occasional breaking ball. But he was just a true competitor with all of his pitches, and you couldn't pick up on one thing in particular.
Nick Williams, the batter, took a pitch for a strike, 0-1. Halladay, such a bulldog out there. Charlie was kind of very honest. The whole interview, if you had a chance to hear any of it pregame show and now in the game, the whole interview is amusing because he doesn't mean to be funny, he just is. Morton is funny the way he describes himself and describes different facets of the game. But Charlie says, sometimes I think too much. Ball in the left, slicing away from Aoki. He's near the crowd, and it'll drift into the crowd. And a good catch there by a Houston Texans fan.
Beauty.
The Texan and Astros combo.
Pretty well represented. That's why you show up.
With the glove.
High fives.
Good glove work out there by those Houstonians.
Now he turned into a Rawlings salesman.
Fastball away. It's 2-2. Williams walked his first time up. Mentioned last night's game. Williams from Galveston Ball High School. We got a nice few weeks here since the All-Star break. Called third strike. Morton freezes him on a perfect fastball in the corner. 2 outs.
With that rampant velocity and that arm side movement, instead of having the sink that Charlie Morton is used to having, this is what's happening. He's getting a little more run. He's flattening out, but he's still getting high velocity. But the one thing for me in this start so far for Charlie Morton is a lot of his pitches are missing up in the zone.
That was a good example of it there.
Got away with it.
Pitch wasn't on the corner. It was up in the zone on the plate. Williams thought it was a little too high, and now Morton will face Howie Kendrick. Kendrick fouls one out of play. Charlie's been pretty consistent at 96 tonight on the radar gun. Not many in this Phillies lineup have faced Morton. There's a couple guys on the bench, Andres Blanco and Daniel Nava, that have faced him. The only guy in the lineup tonight who had faced him prior to this evening, Howie Kendrick, 8 at bats against Charlie. Pitch misses away. It's 1-1.
The Phillies as an offense against 94+ mile-an-hour fastballs are hitting .251, good for 20th in Major League Baseball. Hey, Alex Cora's back.
Good to see Alex back. Rejoined the team here in Philadelphia. Birth of his twins. Breaking ball hits Howie Kendrick. Second hit batter of the night. Charlie Morton's now tied for the American League lead in hit by pitches with 9. And the Phillies have first and second with 2 outs.
Just got away. Meant to be a curveball, but you see it jump out of that hand, not where he wants it. Evan Gaddis checking on Howie Kendrick. Kendrick's been around long enough to understand that there was no intent behind that pitch, just got away from him. And he might also be thankful that it's 86 instead of 96.
So now 2 outs, 2 on, and Morton will face Dumel Herrera. Throughout his career, Morton has been much better against righties than lefties. This year, though, the numbers have flipped. Morton has been really tough on lefties, a 178 average. Righties are hitting 300 against him. Starts off Herrera with a breaking ball that he swings through. Herrera hit one deep to center field that sent Derek Fisher all the way back to the wall his first time up. Fisher caught it right up against the fence and saved perhaps 2 runs on that play. Astros have a run on 1 hit, an Alex Bregman triple and a sacrifice fly by Norioki, but Bregman has left the game. Up and in, and Morton misses. It's 1-1.
It's pretty safe to say that command is an issue right now for Charlie Morton. Some of the Philadelphia locals not happy with it. That's one of them. Two and 2/3 and 48 pitches.
And he's been searching for it tonight in terms of his command. Pitched well in 2 starts here as a Philly last year. Went 6 innings and 6 2/3 innings. In those 2 starts, 12 2/3 innings combined, he only allowed 7 hits and 1 run. Well, it's a mound he liked last year, but tonight it's not been a mound that he has found his control, at least early on. 1-2 the count. He has hit 2 batters. He has walked a batter. And he's been able to work out of trouble in the first 2 innings and trying to do the same again in the 3rd.
Herrera helped him out on that last pitch. Up out of the zone, he chased. But Charlie Morton in his career, he is at the point where he is throwing the most pitches per inning in his career. Coming into this game, it was at 16.5.
And he pulls the string and he gets Odubel Herrera swinging for the final out of the inning. 3 strikeouts so far for Morton.
Today's Chevy Stroh poll. Oh, I like where this is going already. We got Rocky up there as we are in Philly. Which Rocky movie is your favorite? Rocky the original, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, that's mine, Rocky Balboa. You know who went and saw Rocky today? Was Chris Stavinsky and Joe Musgrove. They went up the steps, did a little workout. I asked Devo if that was the only workout he got in today, and he said, no, of course not. Hard work pays off, so he worked out again at some point. But they did go up there and take a nice picture.
Did you download your song to run up there?
No, I have not yet.
Still one more day.
I've got a fanatic in my ear. Hang on.
You have a fanatic in your ear?
Oh no, 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 don't look. Don't look. Ah. This isn't me doing this, everyone.
Christmas in July, isn't it great?
It's Christmas in July.
Have you heard from Orbit, Julia? Are we having any issues with Orbit
But
shells?
I'm gonna need some duct tape or something to
Cover up the Phillies part.
This is what happens when you guys aren't watching. You get visitors down here.
Fanatic, very fond of Julie Morales as Josh Reddick takes a call, third strike. Took her on a spin on the ATV last night, and tonight participating in the Christmas in July with Julia. Reddick strikes out to start the fourth. One of the best, Philly fanatic, year in, year out. Yuli Gurriel, who's now the third baseman, bats and fouls one out of play. Yuli flied out. Check that, Yuli struck out his first time up. Pivetta has 3 strikeouts now after getting Reddick looking to start this inning. Yuli down to the count 0-2. Second highest slugging percentage in the month of July belongs to Yuli Gurriel. The highest belongs to his teammate Jose Altuve. Yuli has slugged at .676 this month. Takes pitch in the dirt. It's 1-2. Nick Pivetta has only allowed the 1 hit so far. He has not walked a batter and struck out 3. He's been ahead of most hitters. Doing a nice job early on for the Phillies. And he gets Gurriel. Back-to-back strikeouts. Reddick looking, Gurriel swinging. That's now 4 strikeouts for Pivetta. Keep sending those tweets to us on this Twitter Tuesday. You get to play GM with the trade deadline looming next Monday. Seeing a lot of great tweets tonight. At Root Sports SW, the best place to send those tweets. You can also hashtag Stros Tuesday. We'll find it that way as well, or you can send it to myself, Blummer, or Julia at our personal Twitter accounts. Here's Evan Gattis, 2 outs, and the base is empty. That has had the Astros off balance with that breaking ball. Throws the slider to righties more than he throws the curveball. Throw that curveball a few more times to lefties than the slider. And he throws the fastball in the corner for a strike at 96. It's 1-2. Strikes out the side. Gattis goes down after Gurriel and Reddick. They throw to first to complete the putout. Astros lead the Phillies 1-0. That lone hit has held up. The hit by Alex Bregman scoring a run. Alex having to leave the game after scoring a run. Going to hear from A.J. Hinch momentarily, and he can give us an update. We caught up with A.J. in between the top and bottom half of the 4th inning. Maikel Franco leads things off. He struck out his first time up, down to the count 0-1. Charlie Morton on the mound for his 4th inning of work. In the air to right field. Josh Reddick is there. Let's listen in as we talk to A.J. in between innings. A.J., any update on Alex Bregman?
His right hamstring got a little sore coming around second, or tightened up on him, and so we decided to take him out and just be very, very, very careful with him. So obviously Whitey goes to first, Yuli comes to third, but right hamstring tightness.
What is a day like in the dugout with George Springer not playing?
It's painful, to be honest with you. It's way better when he plays. He's bouncing around everywhere. I joked with him that he was our emergency player, and then he's like, I'm one step closer as soon as Bregman came out. So he's locked and ready to go. We're just sort of holding him back.
You've got Keuchel and McHugh hopefully going this weekend. Give me an idea. A lot of people have asked about a 6-man rotation. Any idea on that?
I know I don't see it happening, only because it kills your bullpen. You know, we need all of our guys down there. We have off days in August coming up. We want our bullpen to stay fresh for the stretch run, obviously. So taking a guy out of there just for the rotation is probably not a good idea.
AJ, thanks for the time.
You got it. We'll see you.
Appreciate AJ in between innings joining us to have a little conversation. So an update on Bregman.
He's not traded.
Is that what Twitter was thinking?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you can stop with the Bregman, or a couple people actually tweeted at me, did Bergman get traded? He didn't get traded either. But he's not traded, just a little right hamstring issue, and he's going to maybe be day-to-day on.
It was hard to tell when it might have happened, but the steps were definitely slightly awkward when he decided to.
Yeah, he kind of hesitated a little bit coming around second base, but he scored on Aoki's deep fly ball. Thankfully, Aoki hit it off the warning track. Didn't have to sprint home and test it.
Morton with a 2-2 count on Tommy Joseph. Morton's worked out of the stretch for the majority of tonight, but trying to get the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th, and he does without Altuve making the long throw to get Joseph on the ground out. This time of year, Blummer, there's always going to be speculation when a guy comes out of a game.
Oh, rampant.
So I can't blame.
That was just my Twitter feed. I didn't even check.
No, I can't even.
The regular Twitter probably. All right, because there's a couple of national writers here. Who knows what was going on there for a couple minutes until AJ cleared the air for us. But yeah, it seems like anytime anybody comes out of a lineup, he's being traded.
There are people looking all throughout the minor leagues too to see if guys are scratched from a start, what that means. Here's a ground ball towards third, past Yuli Gurriel and into left field. Cameron Rupp with a 2-out base hit. Yuli kind of backed up on this ground ball.
He did. It's been a while since he's been over there.
Nick Pivetta lined out to center field his first time up. Pivetta up there hacking again, fouls one off. Didn't hit the ball poorly his first time, almost had an RBI base hit. But Derek Fisher came on and made a catch right around his knees for the final out of the inning. Maybe Charlie can mix in a breaking ball here, because Pivetta's had a pretty good swing at the fastball. Now it's fastball, it's 0-2.
His edges have been a little liberal for Dan Iazonia behind home plate.
Astros outfield playing very shallow against the opposing pitcher. And a breaking ball freezes the pitcher.
That was fun to watch.
That was Morton. Pitcher on pitcher crime on Pivetta.
the Philadelphia Phillies, and it's time to play, presented by Toyota. As a team, the Houston Astros continue to slug the baseball. 18 games this month. They are slugging at .559. Everybody with an Astros uniform on is driving the ball out of the ballpark. We're seeing guys shoot gaps for doubles. Bregman had a triple today. But these guys have been laying the wood onto that leather baseball and putting it all over the ballpark as they run for extra base hits.
.999 OPS, .336 batting average. Plummer talked about the slugging percentage. It has been a fun month of July to watch this Astros offense, which makes what Nick Pivetta is doing tonight even more impressive. The Astros ranked in July 8 runs a game. They're on the season now averaging 6 runs a game for the first time this year. Remember, they had a stretch there the first 8 or 9 games where they were under 3 runs per game, and since then it's been moving steadily up, and with a 13 spot last night they have now reached 6 runs per game. Marwin Gonzalez will lead things off, followed by Derek Fisher and Tyler White. Breaking ball down low. Marwin hit the ball hard but lined out to left his first time up. .2-0 the count. One thing Pivetta's done well is get ahead of counts tonight. Falling behind Marwin here. He has been filling up the strike zone. Not walked a batter. He struck out 5, including striking out the side in the 4th, getting Reddick, Gurriel, and Gaddis. Marwin pops a foul. That'll be into the crowd. Marwin splits this year. He has been a better left-handed hitter. .342. Overall, he's batting .318. 14 of his 18 home runs have come left-handed. Breaking ball and a good one. It's 2-2.
It's been sliders to right-handers. Now you're seeing a curveball to a left-handed hitting Marwin Gonzalez.
Pivetta does have a couple of double-digit strikeout games this year. He struck out 11 Rockies in April. Check that. He struck out 10 Cardinals in May. The Rockies game was an April game in the minor leagues, but he faced Columbus in that game and struck out 11 in the minor league. So a couple of double-digit strikeout games, one at the minor league level with Lehigh Valley and one at the big league level against the Cardinals on June 21st. He strikes out Gonzalez there. That's now 6 strikeouts and 4 in a row. He's gone through Reddick, Gurriel, Gaddis, and Gonzalez. On the corner, Derek Fisher lined out his first time up. Derek on the season is 5 for 19. That just misses 1-1. One thing that I noticed the most about Fisher is how quiet and controlled he is in each at bat, especially for a kid who just broke into the big leagues.
There is no panic in his approach. Sometimes you see young guys get excited. There's a lot of moving parts, but he is a very fundamentally sound stance, swing, good balance. Head doesn't move all that much.
Chop on the ground. Joseph will take it himself. Nick Pivetta has retired 14 of the first 15 Astros tonight. We don't see this very much.
Very rare. Young man that a lot of these Astro hitters haven't faced. You figure the second time around they started to get a beat on him a little bit. But the only ball that was hit hard was off the bat of Alex Bregman, and he's now in the trainer's room.
Bregman leaving after tweaking his right hamstring on a triple, and Tyler White, who came on for Alex in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, will hit for the first time. Tyler got in last night's game. his first action since being called up on Sunday. White went 1 for 4 in the game, tries to hold up, and he does. It's 1-0. Tyler having a very good year with the Fresno Grizzlies. 19 doubles, 19 home runs in 91 games. Scored 70 and drove in 69. So Pivetta, who has been ahead most of the night, down 3-0 to Tyler White. Four-pitch walk. Tyler White on first base with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Norioki hit the ball all the way to the wall his first time up. Ended up with a sacrifice fly. Nori 5 for his last 10. Driving in the game's only run thus far. There's a called strike. Astros playing game number 100 of the season. Up the middle, Galvis make the play to first. Oki retired, and that'll do it for Houston in the 5th. 1 man left on with a 2-out walk. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Beautiful night in Philadelphia. Astros with 1 hit, Phillies with 2. It's been a good pitcher's duel between Charlie Morton and Nick Pivetta. And we head to the bottom half of the 5th, and the former Philly Morton will face the top of the lineup, Cesar Hernandez, Freddie Galvis, and Nick Williams. Charlie so far has allowed 3 base hits. Line drive into left field. Oki is over there to make the play for out number 1.
AT&T is going to bring us our pitch usage on Charlie Morton. This is by inning. First inning. See the average pretty low. Through those middle parts, he does all right. Second and third, that 4th inning, that average starts to jump up a little bit. So does the ERA. And then the 5th inning is when seemingly the wheels fall off for Charlie Morton. And I wonder if a lot of it has to do with so many pitches being thrown so early in the game to get out of some of the damage he finds himself in.
facing Galvis with a strike. That's something that has been an issue for Charlie, working deep into games. You mentioned the highest pitches per inning of his career. I know as July will turn into August next week that Charlie Morton would like to see things improve in that department, as his innings pitched per game and also his pitches per inning. Strikeouts are up. That usually creates a lot of pitches. Shallow center. Fisher and Gonzalez converge. Derek calls off Marwin, and there's 2 outs. Galvis retired for the first time. He had reached on a double and been hit by a pitch. Last inning, that ball off the bat of Cameron Rupp was ruled an error on Yuli Gurriel.
Tough hop, but I mean, Yuli got in between on the steps and ball ate him alive.
So the Phillies with 2 hits, and 3 other times they've reached base, twice by hit by pitch and once on a walk. The walk was issued to this man, Nick Williams, his first time up. Charlie got in on the hands there. It's 0-1. Ahead of Williams 0-2. So Morton, who innings 1 through 4 has seen his batting average against jump up over 100 points in innings 5+. Off to a good start this inning. He's got 2 outs, nobody on it. He's ahead of Williams 0-2. Good breaking ball. First 1-2-3 inning for Charlie Morton. He freezes Williams. That's 5 strikeouts for the Astros right-hander. It's still 1-0.
Promotions coming up at Minute Maid Park in August, including Friday night fireworks, Dollar Dogs, Bagwell Hall of Fame weekend, and Legends weekend. Visit astros.com/promotions for more info.
Christmas in July at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Visit from Santa on this 25th of July.
I like it. Got that Astro onesie on early.
Nice. It is a Twitter Tuesday. We are asking you to play general manager for the week. If you were the GM of the Astros, what, if anything, would you do leading into the trade deadline? Charlie Morton will bat to lead off the top half of the 6th inning. Seen a couple of names from the team that the Astros will be playing next that Astros fans would like to see a part of the roster. The Tigers have some pieces, and they've already sent J.D. Martinez out. I've seen Justin Wilson's name thrown out there. I've seen Justin Verlander's name thrown out there.
Ian Kinsler's been talked about also. A couple of Justins wouldn't be too bad. Might be a hefty price tag.
Morton with a 2-1 count, grounds one to short like he did the first time, and also takes it easy on his way down the line. There's 2 outs. Excuse me, there's 1 out. He's been retired twice. Spray chart is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. How about a spray chart on the hottest hitter in baseball? Jose Altuve. Off speed, he is hitting over 660, 667 on the off speed. Fastball, he's down at 513. That's his weak area.
You got to invent a pitch to try and get this guy out. Pivetta so far has.
I'm impressed with this Phillies right-hander tonight. He's kept the Astros off balance for the most part, save Alex Bregman, who is celebrating his 1-year anniversary of his major league debut, but only lasted 1 at bat tonight before a little tightness in the hamstring. Altuve holds up. It's 2-1. Pivetta actually made Altuve look human his first time up. Altuve chased an 0-2 pitch and struck out. We've seen Altuve during this recent stretch hit basically everything. He's got a 16-game hitting streak coming into tonight. Line drive, 17-game hitting streak. Altuve will make the turn at first. Williams slides to stop the ball from going into the corner, and Altuve slides in with a double. Yet again, Jose Altuve getting things done.
Okay, he's not pretty good anymore. He's really good. He's got to change up that commercial he's got and say, no, I'm really good. I can pretty much do anything. I'm getting abused all day long by sliders, and the guy tries to sneak a fastball by him, and all he does is throw the barrel at it, shoot it the other way for a double. Incredible. 57 straight games on top of it with that double from Altuve, helping the Astros extend the 2nd longest streak in Major League history. Why not add another accolade to it?
Only the 2nd hit of the night for Houston. That ball's in the dirt, and a great jump by Altuve to get to 3rd. Ball did not get that far away from Cameron Rupp, who may have been crossed up. And Altuve now to 3rd with less than 2 outs.
Well, in defense of Cameron Rupp, they haven't pitched with a guy on 2nd base all day long until Altuve got out there. Classic cross-up. Cameron Rupp's expecting a different pitch. Gets away from an Altuve, gains 90 feet.
So now the Phillies will have to bring the infield in against Josh Reddick, who leads the team in line drive percentage. Call that a pass ball on Rupp to allow Altuve to get to 3rd. And there's a line drive into left field. Base hit. Astros take a 2-0 lead on the RBI by Josh Reddick.
And the Houston natives show up. Good piece of hitting. It's a classic inside out on that fastball up to Josh Reddick. Nicely done.
Astros making all their hits count tonight. Bregman with a triple, he scored. Altuve with a double, he scored. Reddick with a single, he drove in Altuve. And now Yuli with a foul ball into the 2nd deck.
Good look at that. Nice and easy. Pull the hands through early. Let that barrel lag a little bit before you square it up and shoot it the other way for that RBI single.
Yuli, who rarely strikes out, has struck out twice tonight. Called 3rd strike his first time up and swinging his 2nd time up. On the season, Gurriel coming in had struck out 41 times in 334 ABs. In the hardest to strike out department, Yuli was 5th in the American League, striking out 1 every 8.7 plate appearances. That one's a little bit low. It's 2-1. Yuli's the opposite of the true outcome guys. He rarely walks, he rarely strikes out. That's in the dirt. 3-1. So a couple of base hits in the inning for the Astros. adding to that lead. It's 2-0, and Gurriel with a good hitters count here of 3-1. Pivetta was originally a Washington National, selected in the 2013 draft in the 4th round. Base hit left field. Yuli has the 3rd consecutive hit for the Astros. Reddick to second. Altuve double, Reddick single, Gurriel single, and the Astros putting together some hits here with 1 out in the 6th. McClure going out to talk to his young right-hander.
Well, Rex Jones retiring from the Astros training staff with his mustache. I think McClure takes over, his best mustache in all of baseball.
Pretty good stash for the pitching coach for the Phillies.
How do you focus on what he's saying when you're staring right at it? Good stuff, and I wonder if the young man Pivetta just needed to slow things down a little bit, really pitching with guys on base, puts him in that stretch position. We saw him throw that pitch with the runner at second base that crossed up Cameron Rupp, and he might have absolutely, it's been so long since there was a guy on second base, he might have forgotten what the signs are. But sometimes these young kids get flustered a little bit, and that may be a little bit of a moment for McClure to come out and just settle him down, say, hey, you've got great stuff, continue to work with Rupp on the program you had going earlier.
Bring up a good point, because when you look at what he's done out of the stretch tonight, he gave up a fly ball to the wall, he gave up a single and a single. He's only pitched out of the stretch to 3 batters, and you had Nori go all the way to the wall, and then back-to-back singles. We'll see if,
and he's fallen behind on some of these hitters here recently also.
Evan Gattis ahead 2-0. We'll see if he can keep this bus rolling. Looking for the 4th consecutive hit. Instead, he fouls one back. It's 2-1. Evan checking with Dan Iasanya to make sure that was a strike.
It's amazing that those numbers can get overlooked with Evan Gattis in his last 16 games. He's been talking about 6 or 7 other guys, but Evan Gattis putting up great numbers. Him and Brian McCann flipping and flopping behind home plate.
Brevin McGaddis.
Pretty good combo.
That was originally an MLB Network thing, and we've kind of adopted it.
It's a good one.
Combination of Brian McCann and Evan Gattis. They're the same guy. One hits left-handed, one hits right-handed. Gattis ahead of the count, 3-1. Pivetta in a little trouble this inning. And a strike of the knees. The count's full. Gattis has cut down on his strikeouts this year. It will be interesting to see if AJ on this full count elects to send the runners with 1 out. They hold, and it's foul tip caught by Rupp. That is strikeout number 7. 2 outs in the 6th.
Second time he's gotten Evan Gattis kind of back in the 4th on a slider, this time on a fastball. But kind of sensing the way Evan Gattis went around that AB, he was kind of maybe sitting on the slider.
Marwin will get an at bat. He's lined out to left and struck out. Marwin trying to keep that streak alive of reaching in 27 consecutive games. Jose Altuve has now reached in 27 consecutive games. There's a strike on the corner.
It's a big corner.
Marwin with great numbers all year long. The runners in scoring position amongst the best in baseball.
high and tight. Some late theatrics from Marwin.
'85 pitches thrown by Nick Pivetta. Pivetta will always be linked with Jonathan Papelbon. He was sent from Washington to Philadelphia. Phillies sent Papelbon and cash considerations to the Washington Nationals. Trade was made at the deadline 2 years ago. 2-1 the count to Marwin. Now the count evens up.
It's a good slider from Pivetta. Second time on this trip we've seen Marwin take a big swing and kind of shake out that right hand.
Astros do not need any more injuries right now. Correa on the DL. Springer left the game last night. Bregman left the game tonight. If you're just joining us, Bregman with a little tightness in his hamstring after he legged out a triple. Good to see him laugh.
But it almost feels like it's something he does on a regular basis, because it doesn't seem to faze him. He just kind of shakes it out, asks the umpire to give him a little bit of time, and then he's right back in there. Obviously hasn't affected the numbers.
Up the middle, base hit for Marwin. Around third comes Josh Reddick. He will score. Astros lead 3-0 on the RBI by Mr. Do Everything, Marwin Gonzalez.
Set him up. The old shake the right hand, I'm hurt trick. But this wasn't a good slider from Pivetta. Say he wanted it down and in again to get that swing and miss. But instead stays over that outside corner, and that was not a shake of the hand. That was a borderline fist pump from Marwin Gonzalez, and excitement for getting that big hit right there.
He's reached in 28 straight games, longest active streak in the major leagues, and now it's Derek Fisher's turn.
He was tied with Altuve briefly
for 4 batters. Fisher is lined out and grounded out. Derek takes a fastball inside for a ball. But working out of the stretch tonight, the Astros against Pivetta are 3 for 4 plus a sacrifice fly. Opposite way. Fisher had no idea where that ball was. Foul. It's 1-1.
Happens to the best of us. Fastball tailing in, and you think you take a good rip at it. Where'd HOU go?
Derek grew up a Yankees fan, even though he lives outside 11 in Pennsylvania in a town called Rexmont. Used to watch a lot of Phillies baseball, and he was a Yankees fan, and his dad was an Orioles fan. On the inside corner, 1-2. Gurriel on second, Gonzalez on first. Astros scoring 2 in the inning. Fisher down to the count, 1-2. Runners on the move, the ball in the dirt. And a stolen base, a double steal. Marwin to second, Gurriel to third. Marwin's fifth, Yuli's third.
Gutsy. The Astros must have picked up on something in Pivetta's move, but also at the same time they may have picked up on the signs from Cameron Rupp, understanding that it was going to be an off-speed pitch. Taking a chance, it worked out.
So now with Fisher at the plate, a 2-out base hit could score 2. Fisher had 3 RBIs his first time around with the Astros, 5 for 18 in that first stint. the ground, past Joseph into right field. Around third comes Marwin. He is trying to score behind Gurriel. Safe at home plate. 2 RBI single, Derek Fisher. And the local product makes it a 5-0 game.
I love that these guys continue to play hard baseball. Great AB by Derek Fisher. That curveball is not what it was earlier for Pivetta. Been in that hitting zone with 2 strikes. Astro hitters have taken advantage of it. But Marwin Gonzalez, what a great slide. Going to the outside, reaching back to get the plate. Avoids the bat, and then strikes pose.
I think Marwin would like to tell Yuli, if you score in front of me, would you please clear the bat out? Really, is that common courtesy?
Help a brother out, man. I'm trying to do some work here.
Right? Here's Tyler White. I mean, you got to slide, you got to avoid a catcher with all this equipment, and then you got a bat sitting there.
Well, and what Todd's alluding to is normally that lead runner who's going to score easy usually clears the way. You'll pick up the bat, you'll pick up a mask, you'll move things out of the way and say, okay, here we go. The lane is yours.
0-1 the count to Tyler White down in the dirt. It's 1-1. Tyler in his second plate appearance of the night came on for Alex Bregman. Tyler playing first base. Gurriel shifted to third. Tyler walked his first plate appearance. Vetta now up to 95 pitches and stirring in the Phillies bullpen. Luis Garcia begins to throw.
Pivetta's been pitching very well, but the Astros have put together some great at-bats and really strung those 3 hits together in a great way after Charlie Morton grounded out. But there's that bat right in the background. You'd like to see somebody, even the home plate umpire, try and kick that out of the way, but it ends up getting into the action with Marwin coming across.
Saw he was looking at Yuli right after that.
Like, hey, man.
Help a teammate out here.
Dropping like flies out here. We don't need any obstacles.
Good job by Derek Fisher down in the count with that 2-out, 2 RBI single. He had 66 runs batted in Fresno in 84 games. He has contributed whenever he's had a chance this year, playing in his 6th game with the Astros. There he goes, kind of a late start. He's going to head back to first. Good idea.
That was fun. Almost looked like he was faking it, but that was a pretty good fake jump if it was. But you're right, if he did have the sense about him with the bad jump to shut it down, not a bad idea.
Well, it looked like he got a really bad jump and decided I've got no chance.
Real tough for the catcher to make the adjustment.
There he goes on a delayed steal, and he is out at second base. So Fisher tries a little trickery with a delayed steal, but Cameron Rupp would have none of it as he throws out Fisher to end the inning.
out to a 5-0 lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. The Astros celebrate Jeff Bagwell's induction into the Hall of Fame with Bagwell Hall of Fame weekend at Minute Maid Park, August 4th through the 6th. Exclusive giveaways and special pregame ceremony are all a part of the celebration. For more info and to purchase tickets, visit astros.com/promotions.
Charlie Morton goes to work in the bottom half of the 6th inning now with a 5-run cushion. He had been leading by a run most of the game, and he faces Howie Kendrick. First pitch a strike, the second one also a strike on a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Charlie's looked good. He's allowed just 2 hits, a couple of doubles, one by Tommy Joseph in the second and one by Freddie Galvis in the third. Both were 1-out doubles and both were stranded. Doesn't get Kendrick to chase there. It's 1-2. Charlie pitching against the team that he was a part of last year, at least for 4 starts, before going down on April 24th with that hamstring injury that kept him out the rest of the year. Ended up having surgery on the hamstring. Outside 2-2. A little bit of an extended inning for Charlie Morton in the dugout in the top half of the 6th inning, as the Astros scored 4 times. Double steal worked out nicely for the Astros in that inning.
Sure did. It's almost as if these guys know what they're doing.
After being ahead of Kendrick 0-2, it's now a full count.
Wow. That hit off the top rail of the Phillies dugout in about 1/10 of a second.
Like to see that net. One of the stadiums with the net over the dugout.
Knapp and Nava almost wore that.
Now Mickey Morandini has to get out of the way, first base coach.
Who's next?
Pretty good second baseman on the coaching boxes for the Phillies. Morandini, the first base coach, and Juan Samuel, third base.
Turned double plays with him in 1999.
Mickey?
Yep.
High pop-up. Gurriel keeps looking at Gaddis, but it's Yuli's play. He puts it away for the first out.
Aggies Hall of Fame weekend, we were just talking about 50 games in June and July as far as talking about guys putting up some historic numbers. Jeff Bagwell hit .401 on base 48% of the time. The slugging percentage at .888. 24 home runs and 57 RBIs on 75 hits in 2 months.
50 games.
57 RBIs in 50 games.
And runs. 24 homers and basically a homer every 2 games.
It's really good. He was really good. He was very consistent at scoring 100 and driving in more than 100.
Duval Herrera swings and misses. It's 0-1. This is the weekend, Sunday afternoon in Cooperstown, New York. One of the more beautiful spots of the United States. Jeff Bagwell, Tim Rock Raines, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez all will be inducted into the 2017 Baseball Hall of Fame class.
All ex-teammates. I was teammates with Rock in Montreal when he finished his career. I was teammates with Pudge Rodriguez here with the Houston Astros, and obviously Jeff Bagwell in 02-03 here with Houston.
Until you just said that, I didn't realize that. I wonder, that's probably a finite group that you're a part of right now.
I was really hoping Vladimir Guerrero got voted in because he's another guy on my list. Trevor Hoffman. I've really lucked out with some of the teams I've been on, but the personnel and what's great about some of these guys being inducted, yes, they're statistically they are Hall of Famers, but to a man, these guys were great, just great dudes. I mean, they treated you just like everybody else. And it's kind of funny, Baggy, I've been talking to him and I had a chance to interview him, but I haven't had the opportunity to hang out with him yet. So after I had the interview with Jeff Bagwell, I texted him and I said, hey man, really appreciate the time, good talking with you. I go, next time we go to dinner, it's on me. Guess what I got back about 30 seconds after I sent that text? He goes, no way. If we go out to dinner, it's on me. So, I mean, still humble, still willing to go out there and treat his friends like gold. It's awesome.
Great to hear. So you're obviously the Houston connection with Bagwell and the Houston connection with Pudge.
Yep.
Rock was early in your career?
It was late in his career, early in my
Right.
career. So my rookie year was 1999 with the Montreal Expos, and he actually came back, finished up with them. What was great about that, playing with Rock Raines, is obviously the stories and the legacy that he had and getting to know him. But he was, I believe, he was the last player to play Major League Baseball without either ear flap on his helmet. He was grandfathered in to wearing that skull cap when he hit.
One of the
Thought he
all-time
was crazy.
one of the all-time great leadoff hitters
Yep.
in the game. So Plummer, that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm going to try and see if I can find a list and see how many there are to join
Very
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux, teammates with him in San Diego.
But all three in this Hall of Fame class, teammates of yours.
Yep.
2 outs, nobody on. Maikel Franco batting with a 1-1 count. Charlie Morton all of a sudden is on a nice little run. He allowed Cameron Rupp to reach on a ground ball that was ruled an error by Yuli Gurriel. That's the only thing that's disrupted him from retiring 10 straight hitters. And now he's ahead of Franco, 1-2. This is one of those games where Morton early on was battling through a few innings, and seems like he's been getting better as the game's gone along.
No, I completely agree. And early on, he was throwing very hard. The velocity was up, but the pitches were also up in the zone. He was getting some, as you saw earlier, he was getting a lot of first pitch strikes, but had to battle through some damage, hit by pitch, a couple of walks. But it really seems like he's taken a little bit off the velocity. We're seeing a little more 93, 94, but he's down in the zone. And obviously, he can reach back and touch 97 when he needs to in a 2-strike count.
He was right around the 50 pitch plateau after 3 innings, a little bit above that. And here he is 3 innings later at 84. So his pitches per inning have dramatically dropped. Innings 4 through 6. And there's one inside, and the count is full. Franco is struck out and flied out. Astros lead this game 5-0. Trying to keep their record perfect this year in interleague play. Houston coming in with an 8-0 mark against the National League. Charlie, a longtime National Leaguer. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. This is his first season pitching in the American League.
For me personally, I just see a lot more movement on that fastball with that traditional sink to it when he's at 93, 94. Starts touching 95 to 97, then it kind of flattens out and rides through the zone.
Franco stays alive, 3-2. Maikel batting at 226 on the year. Charlie normally gets ground balls, but tonight it's more been fly balls and strikeouts. He's only recorded 4 groundouts in this game as we play in the 6th inning. There's one in on the hands, and the count remains full. So Franco with a good battle here.
You watch Marwin have these 3-2 battles with pitchers, and he almost willingly fouls them off, or he barrels one up and shoots it foul. Franco looks like he's fighting for his life.
Morton gets him, swinging to end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's 7 Ks in the game for Charlie Morton.
Astros leading the Phillies 5-0. It is time to play Name That Astro. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. These are your 3 clues this evening. Tommy John, College World Series champion, 1970 draft. Tweet us your best guess at ATT Sportsnet SW.
That's out of my kill zone.
What? Did you say you had it?
No, I said that's out of my kill zone. I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I gotta get.
Did you look at the? Did you see the silhouette?
Oh, you look at it.
I changed the way that I asked that question on purpose.
Yeah.
You're too late. I finally got Julie on it.
She didn't say look.
She did too.
She said, did you see that?
No, she said, did you look? And then stopped, and I jumped the gun.
It was almost like AT&T Sportsnet.
No, you didn't.
No, I said it was similar to that. Here's Tyler White to lead things off. Has the Fanatic finally left you alone?
Yes.
Tyler White into right field. Nick Williams drifts back towards the track. Makes the play.
That was actually his Santa hat. So he had to come back and get it. Which I wouldn't want it anyway. It said Phillies on it.
Yeah, that's lame.
No, thank you.
The Fanatic has definitely been paying a lot of attention to Julian Morales in this series. One more game to go between the Phillies and the Astros tomorrow night. Then a little road trip to Michigan, where a series with the Tigers will begin on Friday after the off day Thursday. Here's Norioki, sacrifice fly and a ground out. So I haven't seen anything on Twitter from Orbit, so apparently Orbit's cool with everything.
I blew him up about a week ago.
What?
And I haven't heard back from him since.
Why would you blow Orbit up?
He thought I was complaining about the heat in Baltimore.
Well, it was hot.
And he called me soft. And I said, well, you work under a roof and it's 80, when it gets over 85 degrees, who are you to talk? And I haven't heard from him since.
2 quick outs for the new Phillies pitcher Luis Garcia as Nori grounds out to second. It's a little feud, you and
I may have sent him into hibernation.
Christmas in July in Philadelphia.
I thought they hated Santa Claus here.
Well, Eagles fans do.
Oh, okay. That's just across the street.
Charlie Morton, the batter. Morton's going to stay in this game, batting for himself in the 7th inning. And Garcia delivers a strike. 0-1. Garcia, 30-year-old right-hander, gets a lot of ground balls when he's on. Has that fastball around 97 to go along with a slider and a splitter. Morton's getting a chance to see what it looks like at 97 or 98 on the other end, as he's down the count 0-2. Brad Peacock had his first major league hit last night. One, 2, 3 inning for the reliever Luis Garcia as Morton grounds out for out number 3.
7th here in Philly, and time to reveal the winner of tonight's Chevy Stroke poll. We asked you which Rocky movie is your favorite. Oh, everybody liking the original.
Wow.
27% for my Rocky 4. That Rocky 4 soundtrack gets me through some really tough runs. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to see Rocky tomorrow. That Rocky, Pistachio Rocky.
I'm actually pretty impressed that everybody picked the original. I like it.
Little known fact. My dad was supposed to be in the original Rocky.
What?
Yeah.
That thing won Best Picture in 1977.
He thought it was this little locally produced movie that he had
I like these stories. Keep going.
He had a Phillies banquet that he was supposed to appear in Lancaster, and actually not far from where Derek Fisher is from. And he upheld his obligation. They couldn't change the shoot date. He was supposed to be the person interviewing Rocky while he was punching the slab of meat.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was originally
an iconic scene,
right,
too.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. Dad's one chance at movie fandom.
So he's only got a statue here.
Yeah. Pitches away as we're underway in the bottom half of the 7th inning to Tommy Joseph.
Was he in any other movies?
Maybe his voice was.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like kind of. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to assume somewhere one of his voiceovers, either NFL films or one of the commercials he did, ended up on a movie. But I don't know for sure if that happened. But yeah, we always gave him a hard time about making a Phillies banquet. And I don't even know if it was. I think he could have somehow done the shoot and still gotten to the banquet in time, and he didn't want to jumble up his schedule, so he just said no to this local boxing movie that it's not going to be anything.
Sylvester guy?
Who is
what
this?
A weird name.
Sylvester Stallone guy. South Philly boxing movie. I'm good.
Yeah, nobody's going to watch
Nobody's going to see that movie. 3-1 to count to Tommy Joseph.
Meanwhile, it gets an Oscar.
Right.
How about that?
Good pitch by Charlie in on the hands of Joseph. Joseph has one of the 2 hits for the Phillies and happened to be an extra base hit, and that seems to be especially lately, as you see. Joseph in July, more than 50% of his hits for extra bases. Nasty pitch on the inside corner. Morton freezes Tommy Joseph. 3 straight strikeouts for Charlie and 8 in the game.
Something clicked in the top of the 5th, but this is filth. Everything going right for Charlie Morton. The velocity's good, the movement's good. And that's just full deflation after Joseph realized that he got punched out on a pretty good pitch.
Since a double by Freddie Galvis in the 3rd inning, Phillies hitters are 0 for 13 against Morton. Here's Cameron Rupp. He reached on an error his last time up and is also grounded out. Strike on the corner, 0-1. Charlie got to hit in the top half of this inning. A.J. Hinch likes where his pitch count is. That ball's hit well. Past Josh Reddick. 1 hop against the wall. Reddick will play it back in, and Joseph has, guess what? Another extra base hit. Double to right field for, Cameron Rupp. Double to right field for the Phillies catcher. Catch the deal this season with Powerade Double Play Tuesdays. Get a couple of View Deck 2 tickets for every Tuesday home game for just $22. The offer is valid only at the Minute Maid Park box office. Visit astros.com/value for more information. Rupp with a 1-out double. First hit for the Phillies since the double by Freddie Galvis in the 3rd. All 3 Phillies hits tonight have been doubles, and they've all come with 1 out. Cameron Perkins will pinch hit for the pitcher. Luis Garcia with a strong 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen for the Phillies. Perkins started last night's game. Walked a couple of times. Was robbed by Alex Bregman on a great defensive play, and also lined into a double play to center field. Astros with bullpen action going. Charlie with that nasty breaking ball again. That's the one that froze Tommy Joseph.
Experienced veteran, pitched a lot in the National League, facing pitch hitters, probably talking to a couple of them on the bench. But as a pinch hitter, you want to go in there and get a fastball immediately. You want to see that straight fastball, take a good pass at it, maybe get loose, maybe get lucky and barrel it up and get a knock out of it. But back-to-back curves, not fair.
Charlie let that ball go through. He knew Altuve would be there, and Jose makes the play. For out number 2 on the play, Cameron Rupp moves over to third. Phillies have had 3 different runners reach as far as third base, first and second inning, and now in the 7th. Charlie will work with 2 outs here to Cesar Hernandez. That last pitch put Charlie at the 100 pitch mark. His high total of the season is 108, coming a couple of starts ago against Minnesota.
102 in that last start against Seattle. This will be his 3rd straight game of 100+ pitches.
Astros starters will get an extra day with a day off on Thursday. Hernandez is grounded out twice and lined out to left. Another good breaking ball. He is spotting that breaking ball for a strike whenever he wants to. Wasn't always the case early in the game. That one in the dirt, 2-1.
Good job by Evan. Keep that runner at third base. Protect your pitcher's ERA.
Count 2-2 on Hernandez. Charlie Morton trying to work through the 7th inning. He did so against the Tigers on May 24th. Also against the A's on April 28th. Called, 3rd strike. Beautiful curveball by Morton to end the 7th inning. Charlie with a 3-hit shutout. It's 5-0 Houston. Park in Philadelphia, the Fanatic and all his helpers tonight, as the Astros have a 5-0 lead heading into the 8th inning. Charlie Morton, what a night he had.
It's incredible. Those last 3 innings that he had, the fastball all of a sudden developed some power sink to it, and then the curveball just emerged out of nowhere and turned into an out pitch But a lot of Phillies hitters are going to have nightmares about later on.
Couple of hit batters, a walk, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings. Charlie at 105 on the pitch count as Jose Altuve, a slow grounder. Franco barehands and makes the play. Nicely done by the Phillies third baseman. Altuve with that speed retired on the good play by Maikel Franco.
This is impressive. Good jump. Timed that hop perfectly to be able to barehand it and fire it. Do or die play when you got a base runner like Altuve flying down that line.
Altuve 1 for 4 with a double tonight. That is a difficult night for him.
Wow, he might get down to 500. He's going to call Miguel Cabrera later on, isn't he?
Miguel's coming up next series.
Help me.
Help. Here's Josh Reddick 0-1. Oh, hopefully you saw that little clip before the game of Miguel Cabrera and Jose Altuve, because it is classic. If you didn't see it tonight, we may have a chance to revisit it sometime this weekend in Detroit. Reddick down to the count 0-2. Garcia's still in the game. They had double switch last inning, so Luis was not pinch hit for. He was part of a double switch with Perkins in center and Odubel Herrera coming out of the game. There's Perkins. Cameron batting in the 9 spot. Garcia batting in the 5 spot. The gist of it is Jose Altuve told Miggy that he was really struggling. Miggy looked up his average, said 340 something. What do you mean you're struggling? Like, I don't do it justice. You have to hear Cabrera tell it with Altuve watching. It's priceless.
With a little bit of a chuckle in there.
Yeah. But Jose did continue his hitting streak up to 17 games now with that double in the 6th inning. Reddick down on the count 1-2. Towards short, Galvis, who has started every game this year for the Phillies at shortstop, makes the play for out number 2.
Get a behind the scenes look at historic Union Station, luxury suites, even the broadcast booth that Todd and I work in, and the dugouts with a Minute Maid Park tour. Visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to book your tour today.
Yuli will bat. Gurriel with a run scored his last time up, single, 1 for 3. Garcia's done a nice job. He's recorded 5 outs on 11 pitches so far. Misses that one to Yuli. It's 1-0. Astros lead 5-0. Coming in averaging 7.29 runs per game on the road. Gurriel backed off the plate, takes a strike, 1-1. Yuli started the game at first base, moved to third when Alex Bregman left the game. Tyler White taking over at first base. Popped up foul, giving it a look, Cameron Rupp, but he will run out of territory. And the count's 1-2. Astros and Phillies, middle game of this 3-game series. Also the middle game of this 9-game road trip for Houston. So far 3-1 on this 3-city 9-game trip. Winning 2 out of 3 over the weekend in Baltimore and winning the first game last night to improve their road record on the season to a major league best record of 36-12. They have won 75% of their games on the road this year. On the ground to third, Franco makes the play, and Garcia has retired all 6 batters he has faced. Nice job by the Phillies reliever.
course, I got to check out all the hot spots, and one of them being Harry the K's, named after the Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Callis. You just saw the tables all covered with a great photo of him, and of course his legendary home run call. But could also get some great ballpark food as well, and a great view. I've got a cheesesteak in front of me, a short rib sandwich. TK, I'm hoping you don't have to pay for anything out here.
I think I might be good, but I appreciate it, Julia. This is a short rib sandwich we have here. We had the cheesesteak last night from Tony Luke's, and tonight from Harry the K's, we get a little short rib sandwich.
As much as I appreciate this, I don't want a rain delay.
No.
I'd rather enjoy this at a nice leisurely pace and finish off this ball game. Looks good.
Yeah. Courtesy of Harry the K's, little outfield restaurant there, dual level. I've got the tables downstairs, and upstairs you can sit on the rail and watch a little baseball as well. Freddie Galvis will lead things off as Tony Sipp is the new pitcher for the Astros in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Sipp delivers a strike to Galvis. This is the part of the lineup where A.J. Hinch figured if he was going to use a lefty, it would be here. He's got Galvis, a switch hitter, turning around batting right-handed, and then 2 of the next 3 hitters are left-handed hitters. 0-1 the count to Galvis. Tony Sipp taking over for Charlie Morton, who went 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball.
I'm going to have to Uber to the art museum, run up the stairs, do my Rocky pose, run back down and get in the Uber and come back after eating this sandwich.
1-2 the count.
Get my workout in.
Beautiful weather to run here in Philadelphia this week. It's been very pleasant despite the storm during the game last night. That actually cooled things off today.
Yeah, it did.
Just misses down and in. It's 2-2.
Really like to see Tony Sipp work through this inning unscathed.
Just in case he can't, the youngster Francis Marquez is warming up. He's been warm for the last couple of innings. Tony pitched in the game last night, part of that 13-4 victory. Nick Williams got him for a bases clearing triple in that 7th inning. Tyler White makes the play right by the camera well. Hit hard on the railing, right in the midsection, but Tyler hung in there for the out.
Good job by Tyler White, recognizing, see him take the peek, never lost sight of the ball. At the corners, when you're running into those stands and you start to have to make a play over there, it's good to go over there. See how he's braced for impact, which was great, but if you have enough time, you try to get to that rail as quick as you can, find it, and then adjust to the baseball. That was a great play.
So Galvis retired. Here's Nick Williams with a chance, a little revenge here. Williams is the guy who cleared the bases last night and made it a 12-4 game with the 3 RBI triple against Sipp. There's a called strike, 0-1. Williams has walked, struck out, and struck out. 9 strikeouts for Charlie Morton tonight in 7 innings of work. Sipp ahead of Nick Williams, 0-2. Appreciate all your tweets tonight on our Twitter Tuesday, where we asked you to become the general manager of the Astros leading into the trade deadline. A lot of good ideas along the way. On the ground, Altuve to his left. Ball pops out of his glove, and that'll allow Williams to reach.
Charlie Morton had himself a night. Astros wanted to get him deep in the ball game, and he did. It didn't look like that was going to be possible early on. He was effectively wild, Did a good job of getting first pitch strikes, but we saw some elevated fastballs early on and some base runners he had to work around, but eventually he found command of that breaking ball, and it turned into a great punch-out pitch for him. He went 7 strong, gave up 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 9 punch-outs. Great night for Charlie Morton.
We'll have a pitching change. A.J. Hinch has come out to the mound after Nick Williams reached on an error charged to Jose Altuve with 1 out. Francis Martez will be the new pitcher when we come back.
Nothing Astros over the Phillies. It's time to name that Astro, presented by your local Honda dealer. These were your 3 clues. It's a USC Trojan, the lefty, Brent Strom, Astros pitching coach.
Second player ever to have Tommy John surgery.
Could have been Brent Strom. Going out, blew my arm out. I'm getting to Brent Strom.
So close to history. Called strike Howie Kendrick. Francis Martez, the new pitcher for the Astros.
Seen him pitch well in recent days. Did a great job out there in Baltimore, going 2+ innings. Really showed a great fastball again. The power slider, the changeup was even fantastic.
He has gone back-to-back outings out of the bullpen of 2 1/3 innings. Hitless baseball. The Twins at home and the Orioles in that weekend series in Baltimore. 1-1 the count. Martez facing Howie Kendrick with a runner on first base and 1 out in the 8th inning. Kendrick, one of 2 batters hit by a pitch tonight from Charlie Morton, who has now hit 9 this season. That's a swing and a miss. Tried to hold up. It's 2-2. There's Stromy, our Name That Astro. Fans asking if a general manager will consult a pitching coach in trading for a starting pitcher, and how much influence do they have?
I think they do, and I think it's a staff-wide effort. I think that Jeff Luhnow has meetings between the analytics, between the baseball minds that they do have in the front office, and then they invite the coaching staff in there. But I think it would be smart of him to ask Brent Strom his opinion on who he sees, especially if it's a guy like Sonny Gray, who he's seen quite a bit, and maybe get Stromy's opinion on how would you work with him. Can you make him better? Do you think he would fit in good with your rotation? Because Stromy's got a great idea about attitudes in that rotation too, and the bullpen. Because you've got a very good chemistry and ball club right now. That's one extra thing you got to think about. Not only are you bringing talent, you're bringing attitude into that clubhouse. And they better buy into what you're selling.
Martez gets the strikeout of Kendrick. So Francis comes in right out of the bullpen and gets Kendrick for out number 2 of the inning. Luis Garcia, the pitcher, was due up, will get a pinch hitter.
That was a changeup, 91 miles an hour. Not normal.
21-year-old who throws 91-mile-an-hour changeups.
It's one thing to throw it, but to have the confidence to throw it and get outs with it is pretty impressive.
Andres Blanco will pinch hit. Blanco, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. So Garcia out of the game. He did a nice job out of the Phillies bullpen. Got 6 outs. 6 batters he faced. There's a strike. Blanco came on in last night's game. Runner on first base via an error, 2 outs. Astros have committed 2 errors tonight. The Phillies have 3 hits. Francis ahead 0-2, and he is looking so good coming out of the bullpen right now. Well, the only issue with Martez in his minor league career, and maybe a start here and there, had been his command. But it seems like his command since being in the bullpen has been even better than it was as a starter.
Brent Strom. We talked about consulting with Brent Strom. He's obviously worked well with Frankie Tuesday. Guess what today is?
Oh, just when we talk about command, he throws one to the backstop. That one didn't even. I would like to see that on the MD Anderson strike zone. That was not even in the.
Did you see the velo on that?
What was it?
99.
Did it hit the chart?
That was gracious of the guys in the truck to put that on the chart.
If they could plot one outside the edge, that's where it would be.
Yeah.
Because it was outside of the batter spot.
I fight giving out that Bob Uecker line every time I see something like that because that was impressive. Just a bit outside. I mean, holding on too tight, Cougar.
On cue, we talk about his command. He throws that pitch. Now a breaking ball in the dirt. It's 2-2. So a wild pitch moves Williams up to second base. You're right. Strami is so good at working with guys, simplifying things, making adjustments. Shallow center field, long run for Fisher. He will get there and put it away for the final out. So the Astros lead 5-0 as we head to the 9th inning. The Astros 6th inning.
It was a good one. Pivetta was pitching good up until that point. It started off with a double from Altuve, extending that Astros streak to 57 straight games with the double, and then Captain Clutch for the Houston Astros. Marwin Gonzalez adding a base hit and RBI. Derek Fisher getting in on the action. The 3 straight hits between Altuve, Reddick, Gurriel, and then Marwin Gonzalez and Derek Fisher with those RBI hits led to a big inning and has proved to be the difference in this ballgame for the Houston Astros.
6 hits for the Astros, 3 hits for the Phillies, only 9 hits combined. Good job by Charlie Morton. And for the most part, Nick Pivetta was good for the Phillies. Working out of the stretch, had some trouble. They head to the 9th inning, and the Phillies will bring on a new reliever after Luis Garcia's 2 perfect innings. As they would go to the right-hander, normally their closer, Hector Neris.
Neris throws hard, 94 miles an hour. He's averaging on that heater. Power slider, power split finger, throws him pretty hard.
First pitch to Evan Gattis, popped high in the air, foul territory, playable. Franco calls off his catcher and puts it away for out number 1 of the ninth. 1 pitch, 1 out. Astros have a little ways to go to reach their average runs scored per game on the road. Scored 13 last night to get that average up to 7.29. But more importantly, they are happy to be out in front by 5 in the 9th inning. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Plummer showed you on that highlight. RBI single. He also stole a base, scored a run his last time, 1 for 3. And bidding for another hit past Galvis into left field. Marwin with back-to-back base hits, 2 for 4 tonight, a 1-out base runner in the 9th.
Look back at Derek Fisher making that debut at Minute Maid Park. That was his first major league home run, going oppo taco, much to the delight of his family. And then he had an opportunity to drive one to right field on June 19th against the Oakland Athletics. Did quite well, and of course putting up numbers on the road. There he gets himself a hanging slider and rakes it into right field, driving in Yuli Gurriel and Marwin Gonzalez.
Fisher batting for the 4th time tonight. Takes a pitch on the inside corner. They're playing in front of friends and family tonight, living about an hour and a half away from Citizens Bank Park. Big 2 RBI base hit with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Pitch misses from Neris. It's 1-1. Well, the game started with a former Philly on the mound, and the Astros will try and end the game with a former Philly on the mound. Ken Giles warming up in the Houston bullpen. Two and 1 the count to Derek Fisher. Fisher just called up from AAA Fresno with George Springer nursing a little bit of a quad issue. He's fine. He could play tonight or tomorrow if the Astros needed him, but why push Springer at this point with the off day coming on Thursday? So Fisher may get some time here in this series. Getting a chance to bat for the 4th time tonight. Fouls one away. 2-2 the count to Derek Fisher.
In my own mind, I like to think that somebody in the Astros organization said, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to call up that nice shiny new car we got called Derek Fisher and see what he can do.
It's nice to have guys of that ability sitting there at your beck and call at the AAA level.
It's also nice too for the organization to give him a call and say, hey, we understand you're playing very good. Our team is very good. We got a slight opening. Hey, come up for a weekend or week. Have some fun. Do it on the big league level.
AJ's line today before the game was he could be here 2 days. He could be here the rest of his career. Somewhere in between will be the truth. It'll be one extreme or the other, or somewhere in between. I mean, AJ, he loves this kid, and what's not to like about him? He's a young prospect with power and speed.
Well, everything we heard about him was offensive, but he made a great play to start off this game in center field. So some of that defensive prowess showing up also.
Duval Herrera hit a ball deep to center field all the way to the warning track, and Fisher caught it up against the wall. Probably would have scored 2 runs in the 1st inning. Morton ended up not giving up anything through 7 innings after that run scoring play by Derek Fisher in the 1st. Really like his eye. He is a patient hitter, and he's got a great eye at the plate for a young hitter. Crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game. Download Home Run Derby for free today. Available in the App Store and Google Play. 2 runners on in the 9th inning. Tyler White will get a chance to bat again. Tyler has walked and flied out to right. Harris has been tough on right-hand hitters lately, holding them to a 167 batting average over the last month. White fouls one away into the upper deck. It's 1-1. Harris coming on for Luis Garcia. Garcia replacing the starter Nick Pivetta. Astros have used 2 out of the bullpen to get through the 8th inning, and it looks like Ken Giles in a non-save situation will get the ball in the 9th. Getting some work in for number 53. Giles did not pitch in Saturday or Sunday's game in Baltimore, so Ken appearing for the first time since Friday when he gets the ball in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Plus, nice to give him a soft landing in his first outing back in Philadelphia.
Be interesting to hear the reception. Pitched well here in Philly.
Yeah, he dominated. He absolutely dominated as a Phillies closer.
Even though he got booed after the first pitch he threw. At 99 miles an hour. Philly fans here were anticipating 100. The first pitch Ken Giles threw was at 99 and they booed him. He didn't let it phase him, though. He went out there and put up great numbers, like you said.
First year, 44 games, a 1.18 ERA. He wasn't the closer then. And then 2015, when he took over the closing role after the Papelbon trade, he saved 15 games with a 1.8 ERA, 1.80 ERA that year. White goes down. Good pitch by Neris to strike out Tyler White for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 outs at the top of the 9th, and Orioles will get another shot.
A pretty wicked split finger from Neris.
Oki, a sacrifice fly, scored the first run of this game and also has grounded out twice. Pitcher spot is due up next in case the Astros get there. Jake Marisnick has grabbed the bat. Ahead of Oki, 0-2. Astros trying to improve to 4-1 on this road trip. Also trying to improve to 9-0 in interleague play this year. A late time granted to Nori. Seattle plays tonight at home, Safeco Field, against the Boston Red Sox. Into center field. Perkins is back, makes the play for the final out of the inning. 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 9th in a 5-0 game. TNT Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Tuesday night, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Astros and Phillies, a little interleague baseball. 5-0 Astros. 7 innings of shutout baseball from Charlie Morton, who started last year with the Phillies before being injured. And now, as we go to the 9th inning, it's time for Ken Giles in this 5-0 game. Julia, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, Ken's saying before yesterday's game, he'll never forget the feeling of coming out of the bullpen here for the very first time making his debut. You heard Blummer tell the story of the boos coming when he didn't hit triple digits with that first pitch. He actually gave up a home run in that first at bat, but have settled down. The numbers were good, but there was still a lot of learning left to do for Giles. And then, of course, the trade came in the offseason right after he got married. He was on his honeymoon when all the rumors began to swirl. Became a Houston Astro coming off of a playoff season. He said there was a lot of pressure on me coming from a team that wasn't as good to a good team with expectations to be in that postseason. So struggled a bit at the beginning as an Astro, figured some things out last year, has having a good year this year as he's continuing to develop as a major league closer, guys.
Back on the mound where it all started as he misses to Franco. It'll be Maikel Franco, Tommy Joseph, Cameron Rupp, 6, 7, 8 in the Phillies lineup. Phillies have been shut out 5 times this year. The Astros also have the same number of shutouts as a staff. Houston leading 5-0. Just 10 hits combined in this game. 7 for the Astros and 3 for the home team. 1-1 to count to Franco. Ken Giles pitching in a road uniform at Citizens Bank Park for the first time. Ahead of the count, 1-2. Giles slipped a little bit coming off that delivery. Hopped off the mound after making that pitch.
Still able to throw a strike, but I gave him a 3.2 on the dismount.
Gets Maikel Franco for a strikeout. Astros have struck out 11 Phillies now. 9 for Morton, 1 for Francis Marquez, and 1 for Ken Giles. Here's Tommy Joseph. He has a double and 3 at bats. All strike. He has that slider working tonight. It's 0-1. Cameron Rupp, battery made for Giles in 2015, waiting on deck. Rupp also was with the Phillies for 18 games in 2014 as well. Called, third strike, 3-pitch strikeout. Joseph goes down looking. Giles, 2 batters up, 2 strikeouts.
Not great sliders where he wants them, but getting the call up in the zone from the home plate umpire is awfully nice. We've seen that pitch called in the upper part of the zone all night long.
Here we go. Ken Giles against his former battery mate Cameron Rupp. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Astros trying to close out a 5-0 victory.
That was a way better pitch than the punch-out pitch to Joseph. By a lot.
to try to hold up, and does. It's 2-0. Ken Giles striking out Franco, striking out Joseph. Trying to finish this game off against Cameron Rupp and the Phillies. Good rip of the fastball. It's 2-1. 99 from Giles. In Giles' career, Carlos Chuch Ruiz has caught the most innings that Giles has pitched, 62. Second most innings behind the plate with Giles on the mound. Cameron Rupp, 40 2/3 innings. So these guys know each other very well. And Rupp went after that fastball and again fouled it back. It's 3-2. Phillies down to their final strike. 12 strikeouts on the night for Houston pitchers. The Astros fans in Philadelphia stand looking for that final out. In the air to left field, going back to the track. It's off the wall. Fisher unable to make the play. Rupp heading to second base. He will have a double. That's the second double in a row for Rupp, and all 4 hits tonight by the Phillies have been doubles.
That was that cement mixer of a slider backing up. He's gotten away with it early, but right here, Rupp gets him. He thought he hit it out, I think. Watch Cameron Rupp rip this one, but stands up on it. Some of these Philly hitters don't know they're popping their own ballpark. So Odubel Herrera stood up on one that turned into an out in the first inning, and then Derek Fisher almost had a chance to take that one away from Cameron.
Here's the other Cameron in Phillies history, Cameron Perkins, with Cameron Rupp on second base. Grounder to third. This should do it. Gurriel, the throw across. Shutout Astros. They win it 5-0. A 4-pitcher combined 4-hit shutout. And the Astros are now 9-0 on the season in interleague play. And they are 4-1 so far on this 9-game road trip with a 5-0 win.
Player of the game is going to be brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Amazingly enough, it's not Jose Altuve or Marlon Gonzalez. It's Charlie Morton. Did a great job on that mound. Finally got command of that fastball and found that curveball. Went 7 innings strong, throwing 105 pitches, 0 runs allowed. Gave up, or he punched out 9 guys, 3 hits given up. Beautiful night for Charlie Morton back in his old stomping grounds at Philadelphia.
The former Philly starts the game and picks up the victory, and another former Philly picks up the final 3 outs, Ken Giles, and the Astros win it 5-0. Plenty more to come right around the corner, including the postgame show.